Hi, my name is Brandon, and I'm an alcoholic and addict in recovery. I used to think that drinking made me happy. In fact, I thought that I used to say to people that I'm a happy drunk. And what I meant was I didn't typically get angry or belligerent when I was drinking. And I would just drink till I passed out with a smile on my face. I like to laugh a lot when I drank. I like to be with other people. I said that, but that wasn't always true. A lot of times I would drink and still feel anxious, and I would drink and still feel stressed out. Or drinking in social situations really didn't relieve the fear that I had of saying something silly or help me relax the way that I thought it would. And today in This Naked Mind by Annie Grace, in the section I read, she talks about how the illusion that alcohol causes happiness, relieves stress, is part of the unconscious attraction that we have to it. So I'll read a little bit from the book, talk about some of my experiences. And the first thing that she says is, you have observed people enjoying alcohol in every conceivable manner for as long as you can remember. Advertisements promise alcohol will make us happy as we develop relationships, have sex, ignite the party, and enjoy our everyday activities. It's practically impossible in Western society not to form the assumption that alcohol makes everybody happy. You determine to try alcohol, and over time your experiences confirm this. Not necessarily because alcohol actually made you happy, but because once you built even the smallest tolerance, you became slightly, almost imperceptibly, unhappy when you couldn't drink. Now, the other side of that is that when I first drank alcohol, I continued drinking because I liked the way it made me feel. And I think it's like that for everybody with every drug they try, for everybody who has a substance use disorder, addiction, whatever you want to call it. The stripped down reality is that we continue doing it because we liked the way that it made us feel. So, and the way it made us feel provides, we associate that with happiness. It provides an illusion of happiness, but it isn't true happiness. It isn't the same kind of happiness that I get now in recovery from just living what I consider to be a good, value-driven and purpose-driven life. That produces real happiness. The alcohol and drugs, the feelings that I got from those, produced the illusion of happiness and basically just deadened the more unpleasant emotions that were present in my life at that point. Continuing reading. In fact, the assumption that alcohol makes you happy includes an unspoken assumption that not drinking will make you unhappy, and in this way your experience confirmed your assumptions. So you've concluded that yes, alcohol does in fact offer you enjoyment or make you happy. So the next thing I want to read, she says, you may argue that you see drinkers all the time who are happy. They're drinking, joking, giggling, and enjoying themselves. I am willing to bet they are enjoying the situation, conversation, and time with their friends rather than the booze. And I love that, the way that she puts things there. Because when I was drinking and using drugs to help me loosen up and enjoy time with my friends, I really felt like in order to enjoy time with people, in order to enjoy social situations, I had to be inebriated. I had to be drunk. I had to be stoned. I had to be able to smoke a cigarette when I wanted to. I remember times when I was at parties and felt like if I can't have a cigarette in my hand, I can't have a conversation with you. I needed that prop in my hand. I needed that constant oral fixation in order to have a conversation with somebody. And that's not really enjoying a party. That's not really enjoying anything that's going on around you. When your fixation is so much on drugs and alcohol, and less on what's actually happening around you, then how can you truly say that the drugs and alcohol are making you happy? I, looking back, was not happy in most of those situations. They were, in fact, if I think about going back to a party and trying to navigate it the way I used to, where I was constantly trying to make sure that I had a full cup of alcohol, constantly making sure that I knew the next time I was going to be able to go get stoned, constantly had a place that I could go smoke cigarettes, even if I was at a party where that wasn't really something that was being done and the host wasn't too keen on having cigarette smoke either, even outside their house. That was a very stressful way to try to enjoy a social situation with friends. Now, when I'm in a social situation, I have a blast, and it's unlike anything that I've experienced since I was a child. As an adult, all of my social life was revolving around making sure I had the supply of alcohol and drugs that I thought I needed in order to be happy in that situation. Now I get dropped into social situations and I'm happy because I get to talk to other people and enjoy time with my friends. That's it. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And so what we see is people who are in these situations, they're drinking, they're laughing, they're having a good time, and we automatically assume that they're having a good time because of the drink in their hand. But if you pay attention, a lot of those people will put that drink down and then forget it's there because they're not focused on it. It's there and they have it, and it does provide a little bit of a good feeling, and they drink it because that's what you do in social situations. But a lot of those people will be the same people who leave that half-finished drink on the table. And, I remember being the kind of guy who that drove me crazy, seeing a half-finished drink, thinking, what are you doing? How can you leave a half-finished drink? And those people who don't even register a half-finished drink, they're the ones who are really enjoying the party with their friends, who are there just to have a good time rather than to get drunk. And so I really like that way of saying things because it helped me understand just how important it is for me now to have a good time just because I'm with other people, and how I never could do that before. And the next thing she says that I wanted to mention was, think back to some of the most fun parties you've attended with and without alcohol. You've been able to relax and enjoy yourself at both types of parties, haven't you? You've had a great time in social gatherings without booze. Doesn't that lead you to believe that maybe you had fun because you were drinking and because you were talking and laughing with friends rather than because you were drinking? And I totally had this experience once where I was in a situation with some old friends where we were hanging out before one of their weddings, and this group of friends they were friends from high school. They weren't heavy drinkers, and there wasn't drinking going on. And at first I was horrified. I was like, how are we going to have fun? What's the point of hanging out without drinking? But we did, and it was a great time. And we had some of the biggest laughs that I had ever had without alcohol or drugs at that time in my life. And even though I went on to continue drinking for years and years and years after that, it did show me that, social interaction without alcohol and drugs is possible. In fact, maybe alcohol and drugs isn't what actually makes that social interaction pleasurable. Maybe it's the social interaction itself that's fun. And as soon as I started to get sober, as soon as I got into recovery, and started to attend social functions without drugs and alcohol as a crutch and truly enjoyed myself, that's when I realized there was something to that, because now I enjoy being with other people. I enjoy talking with other people, and I enjoy being curious about what's going on with other people rather than just sitting and waiting for my turn to talk like I used to do. That's the key to enjoying social situations. It has nothing to do with alcohol, with drugs. And so the happiness that I thought that alcohol and drugs were bringing me was more of an illusion. And it was the ability of alcohol and drugs to deaden some of the negative emotions that I felt, especially in social situations, gave me the illusion that it actually made me happy. When in reality, what actually makes me happy is being sober and living a good, value-driven life, living life based on values that I feel are important, and doing the right thing in life rather than just trying to live a life that allows me to drink and drug the way I want to. That's what's really making me happy these days. And it's a happiness so much more profound than anything I ever could have found in the bottle. So that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with more. In the meantime, have a good one.